This thing I don't think has ever been cleaned. Bird feathers, some dog hair, some cat hair. So that's all gonna have to be replaced. That's a nice bird's nest in it. Doors rotted out, drywall seam is cracking. Holes in the tub. This bathroom's getting completely gutted as well because there's water damage. All right guys, it's day 7 and I added up my hours of what I have in this project so far, and it is 42 hours. Had some half days and stuff like that. So I feel like I'm doing pretty good. Today's task is gonna be first to tackle these wires. I'm gonna get them, the power shut off, I'm gonna get them labeled. I'm gonna go up in the attic, pull them up in there, put a junction box in. Then I'm going to go around the house and make a huge material list and probably run and get supplies today. So I'm probably not gonna get a ton done here, but this will be a big deal because we're starting to put this thing back together. So here to shut off some breakers. Look at the drain tile from outside. We have just been getting pounded with rain. It's just steadily running in. We have to shut off some breakers, so let's find them. Receptacles, dining room, living room, so that's number 1. Lights, living room, lights, kitchen and dining room. And then I got those outlets, so let's go check everything. All right, good thing is all the lights are off, ceiling fans off, so power's off to the 2 sets of light switches I'm working on over here. That's the other light switch. I just need to check to see if there's power at that, and I'm just gonna plug my shop back in. Power's off there. Yep, so we should be good. All right, so I'm gonna start with this outlet box here. Based on this wiring, we have power coming in, and then we have power going out, and then they just have a pigtail off of this. So I need to make sure, I don't know what, I'm not gonna have another outlet that I'm gonna put anywhere. So what I need to do is mark these wires as power wires, and then I need to hook them together in my junction box. Ground to ground, neutrals to neutrals, hots to hot. So I'm gonna get this all taken apart, label these, and then I know when I pull these up that I have to hook these 2 together. So I just label these, and so I'll know to hook these together. All right, so this is the light and fan switch box. And so looking in here, I can tell that there's power coming in. So we have power coming in, and the power feeds both the light switch and the fan switch. And then there is a 14.3 that I know goes to the fan because the red is hooked to the fan switch. So that's gonna be the switch leg for the fan. And then the black in the 14.3 hooks to the light switch. So that's gonna be the switch leg to the light. So I can go ahead and mark that that's the fan switch leg. Red is fan, black is the light switch. However, I am going to be putting in a macro air fan. It's not going to have a light initially. I might add one later, so I'm gonna go ahead and leave that switch leg in there in case I add a light later. But I also know that in that junction box, I have to make sure there's power going back out, and I'm not sure where that power goes to. It either comes from or goes to some other switch or outlet that is powered by this circuit. So I need to make sure that I hook those back together. Fan light switch leg. So this is going to be a little bit tricky because this one is going to be in the junction box, and then I'm going to take another 14-3, hook all of the colors to the colors, and take the part that I add over to my new switch location. And I'll also have to take power from these down to my new switch location. So these two will get hooked together in the junction box, and then a third 14-2 will get tied into these, go down to my switch, and then a 14-3 will go from my new switch location up to the junction box to connect to this. And these are going to do a fan light and light power. Right now this is the kitchen lights and then the dining room lights, and they're both 3-ways. So one thing I probably have to do is I'll probably have to go back downstairs, turn this circuit back on. So I don't remember which one was the kitchen and which one was the dining room. I think this was kitchen, this was dining room, but I need to know that because there's a 14-3 that's going to go to the other 3-way off of both of these, and then we have a power. So I'm going to go down, turn this circuit back on, figure out which one is which, and then we'll dismantle this. All right, so I got the power back on. I was right, so that's dining room. Kitchen. All right, so if I look at this, I have my, get away fly, power coming in, and the power supplies power to the kitchen circuit. The dining room power has to come in to the other side of the 3-way switch because it is not connected to power on this side. So that should be pretty easy. I just need to mark that this powers my kitchen circuit, and then I know how to appropriately hook everything up. All right, I have all of these labeled. I got them coming as straight as I possibly can, so when I get up there, hopefully they come out pretty easy. I got my bucket of all my goodies that I'm gonna need. It's gonna be a little difficult, but I got flashlights, all that kind of stuff. One of the cool flashlights that I'm gonna use, this goes on your hat, or here's the low. That's the low blue light power setting, so you can turn it on higher or lower. And then you also have a pointer laser. So if you need that, pretty cool light. It clips on your pants pocket, and then you can also clip it on your hat, so it works perfect. It's got a rechargeable battery. And then the other lights that I use a lot are, for up and attic, are these O lights, but they're magnetic, so they go right on the truss gang nails when I'm up in the attic, so I can just slap them on that, and then you can adjust them, turn them, all that kind of stuff to get you light where you need. So I'm taking those up there, got all my connectors, got my electrical box, all that kind of good stuff. All right, let's go. First off, look at all this crap up here. I gotta get all this cleaned out. But we have to go way back there, up and over a vault, and get over to the flat side. So should be exciting. All right, there's the first vault. This is a higher ceiling on the roof, and then there's a shorter roof line right there. We have to get over to the other side. Our wires are on the other side there. Right here's where all our wires come out. I don't really have a straight shot to pull them up. There we go. I got one. Power to outlet. Kind of keep them grouped together. Power outlet, so those get connected together. So I can kind of situate that on the power button. There we go. Got one there. Might as well get the other one. Put that one up there. Alright, so you guys can see up here a little bit better now. These are typical residential trusses, 2 foot on center. And with these houses, with all these different peaks and stuff, so that's where the sliding glass door is. It comes across flat, and then right here it goes up and it vaults over. And that is one roof line right there. And then this half of the living room goes up higher, so that's like an outside wall. So again, these trusses come across, and right here they angle up and then back down the bottom cord. You can see these are all free span trusses. You can see the vertical bracing where the vault starts. There's actually 2 trusses where it changes. So there's a lot going on here, but I can see good now. And so we're going to get all of these wires pulled up this junction box right there, because not only can I label the cover, I can label everything right here as well. I wish I'd have brought a 2x4 up here to sit on. That would have been nice. I will say one thing that's nice is we had an unexpected storm this morning, and so cool outside right now, which I'm super excited about. Oh, my legs. I'm already tired. All right, guys, this is what I got so far. This was the switched leg for an outlet above the cabinet on that wall I took out. So this is going to be a dead end. So I marked that one. Up here, I put cabinet light, switch leg. And then number 2 is the outlet that was removed from pre-existing kitchen wall. So those are just hooked together. And then 3 is going to be my power leg for my fan light switch. So I've got an extra space on these so I can run a 14-2 from here down to the new switch location. And then this is the switch leg for that. So I'll run this up into the box, and then from the new switch location, a 14-3 will run to here, and these will all just connect. So power will come into this box, go down to the switch, you switch it, and then it will come up through to this box and then out to the fan and light. So I just have to stick this through, put some Wagos on it, and then I can hook that up once I get the new wiring ran. All right, guys, this is going really well, but I'm going to have to get a second box because otherwise I'm going to be over the capacity by a couple wires. So what I've decided to do is just leave this stuff in here, and then this is the kitchen light, 3-way lights, and the dining room 3-way lights. I'm just going to get another box, put it on the back side, and put it in there. So a couple tricky things here is there is an LVL, double LVL that goes along here, which they have drilled through it. And then the wall of the upstairs closet is right here. And then that is exposed to, actually once it gets up there, it's exposed to the outside. But there's a little hallway closet. And I think if I take the floor, I drilled a hole through there to see where it came out. And if it comes out in the corner of that hallway closet, what I'll do is I'll take that little piece of OSB out, subfloor, run my wires down and through, and then box that in. All right, guys, starting to run wire. So it comes up from the wall where the new switch is going to be, goes through. I don't know if you can see back in there. Probably not. But it goes through. And Emily wants an outlet in this closet. And have to have a bunch of work in this drywall. So I took section up 3 foot high. And this will greatly increase the speed of this job because look right there. I can access this through here now versus going up through the garage, traveling across here, up over the vault and down. I can now just go back and forth through here, which is gonna speed this up drastically. All right, guys, I have this all wired up. Got this all wired up and tucked in there. And I'm going to hook the old light switches up and test everything to make sure it works. I am going to put the covers on. This I do have to have an inspection, so I'll just leave them loose, and then when he's done, I can tighten everything up. But should be good to go. And then I ran off that outlet that was down there above the countertop. I took that into here to just make it a complete circuit, and then Emily wanted an outlet here in this closet, so I just went ahead and used that circuit to put an outlet in right there. All right, we have everything wired up. Got everything coming down. New switch locations. I just put these switches back in because one, I gotta turn this circuit back on, the refrigerator's in it, and I got stuff in there. But I wanna see if these all work. So I'm gonna have the kitchen and dining room lights here. This is the 48-inch mark, which is typically where I put the top of my box. So I just put the bottom there and then put this one below, and that'll be for the fan and light in the dining room. I just couldn't get a 4-gang box in here, and I didn't want to take this off. So talked to Emily, and we were both fine with this setup right here. So for the moment of truth is we turn the breaker on, and we'll see how we did. Got my fingers crossed. There's a lot of wires. I think. And 19. Thing is, the breakers didn't trip. So let's go out and see if we got some lights. Kitchen lights are on. So that works. That works. Fan is on. All right, Emily was here. We talked about, we're gonna do like a 5.5 inch. It's basically gonna look like a 6x6 beam all the way off across, and then I'm gonna build this out and do like a 6x6 so it looks like a post there. And then that will give me a clean way. I have to OSB this whole wall, because the whole wall is gonna be Versetta stone, and that'll give me a way to hide the edge of that OSB. And then I can bump my OSB and my Versetta stone right up against this fake post here. I'm really glad that I opened up this wall through here. I think it's gonna add really nice. We're gonna have an island right here. The rest of the kitchen will all be the same, except there's gonna be 2 dishwashers here. I'm adding a second dishwasher. And then we'll have a big island with three to four seats right here, and then we'll be able to have room for a table here. Master bedroom, and I want to finish all of the electrical stuff for the most part today. And we have a double switch box right there, so a dual gang box. One switch is for the fan, one switch is for the light. We're putting, Emily does not like ceiling fan, which whatever, it's fine. We're just gonna put some kind of light or chandelier in here, but we wanna add can lights. So I'm going to take one of those spaces and run some can light. So our bed is gonna go against this wall over here. So I want a can light on each side, kind of like reading light. So I'm gonna wire that up. And if you ever look at these eye joists, this is one reason I love eye joists, is where that hole is right there, that's pre-punched. So all the rest of these have holes too. So I'm gonna punch the holes out where they're already pre-punched, run a wire from the switch. I'll have to fish it down the wall and then get it over here, go to one light and then the next light. Gotta be careful I don't whack myself with this fan. You can see that's a pre-punch out. There's one right there. I don't know if you see it. I'll see if I can. So I got that one, and then there's one right there that I'll punch out, and then one right there. right, now I probably will have to drill another hole down through, but I need to kill the power so I don't accidentally electrocute myself. All right, I'm done wasting time. I cut a piece of drywall out so that I could get this. I could not fish this down through there to save my life, so. Now it's here. I'll label it. Dang! I don't know what the heck I was doing. The freaking lights were on in here and I touched that. Got me a little bit, but I got my wire in here. Put this piece of drywall back on. I'll just have them finish that, which I'm gonna go ahead and notch the edges for them. Start a screw here. Start a screw here. Third thing I'm gonna do, then I put a screw in the center. That's so that I have something, to hold on to. Stick that in there. That's it. So. All right, now I can finish running this wire. All right, so I've got these coiled up. We're gonna be using wafer light, so I will make my measurements. I'll probably put some tape on the floor right where they are, or like spray paint. That way, when I go to cut these out, all I have to do is cut the hole and then do my wiring, slide the little box up in there and my light, and we're good to go. So, all right, day 7 is gonna be a wrap. I didn't get anything dramatically done, at least from an appearance standpoint, but I got all of these wires. There was 4 different switches that I had to move. So I pulled up all those wires into the attic, and we have them all right here, back in working order. And then the other thing I did was ran this wire from here over to where we're gonna have 2 can lights. And then the last thing I did, which is huge, because I'm at a point now where I have to put this thing back together. Emily came, we walked around the whole house, we counted the outlets, we counted the switches, we counted the receptacles that need to be GFCI, because we're gonna buy all new receptacles and switches. We made a material list for plumbing, electrical, the windows are all in, and I think the sliding door maybe. The main door is still a few weeks out. So I think tomorrow I will probably spend time going and getting all of that stuff. I have to mow the yard, and I have to get my lift here because I'm gonna use my lift to change out these windows up above. I have 2 windows that are high. So I'm super pumped. This is moving along pretty good. So after today, I have about 50 hours into this project so far, and I'm ready to start putting it back together. I mean, I will probably still have a little demo here and there as I start putting things back together, but I'm gonna get this floor good and clean, and then we're gonna paint the entire floor with Kills paint. With that being said, we appreciate you guys watching. If you haven't already, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, share us with your friends, and don't stop dreaming.